104th division, and I will be reading out of the Holy Name Version, containing the Holy Name version of the Old and New Testament, critically compared with ancient authorities and various manuscripts, revised by the late A.V. Traina of the Scripture Research Association. Psalms 100, the 104th division. Bless Yahweh, O my soul. O Yahweh, my Elohim, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretchest out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh the wind his messengers, and his ministers a flaming fire, who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke thy fled. At the voice of thy thunder, thy haste away. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. He sendeth the springs into the valleys, which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild asses quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the earth have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of thy works. He caused the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. The trees of Yahweh are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted, where the birds make their nest, and as the stork, the fern trees are her house. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the cronies. He appointeth the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness and its night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey, and seek their food from El. The sun arises, they gather themselves together, and lay them down in their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening. O Yahweh, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. So is the great and the wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. They go to the ships. There is the levitation, whom thou hast made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their food in season. What thou givest them, they gather. They openest thy hand, and they are filled with good. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. The glory of Yahweh shall endure forever. Yahweh shall rejoice in his works. He looketh on the earth and trembleth. He touches the hills, and they smoke. I will sing to Yahweh as long as I live. I will sing praise to my Eloah until I have my being. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad in Yahweh. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless thou Yahweh, O my soul. Hallelujah. Yeah, just an announcement that we have questions? 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Okay, we'll have questions and answers the last 30 minutes of tonight's class, so try to remember your questions for that period. A reminder that we're having a picnic tomorrow at Sandia Lakes
beginning at 11 o'clock. I'll be there early, and I'll be taking some barbecue grills. So try and take your own chairs, and even if you have a table or something, if you can fit it, take it. We have a list over here. The school is supplying the hamburgers, hot dogs, and the buns, and we have a list up here, so if you like, take a look at it after class. But it's not required that you bring something. Just bring yourself and have a good time. And we hope that as many people that can make it will make it. And our speaker tonight will be the Dean of the Albuquerque branch, Dr. Fred Allen Jr.
There's maps up there.
Oh, there's maps up here, okay. Yeah, it's not hard to get to, but in case we don't want you to end up in Santa Fe, there's maps up here.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Evening, Fred.
You want to put my mic on?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Again, good evening, everyone. A couple announcements I need to make before we get started. One, they have requested us not to park in front of this building on this west side.
East side.
East side, that's right, east side. Because they have guests, they have people come to businesses there in the evening, and so they asked us not to park over right in front of the. Now, the only car you can park there, where Patricia parks there for a handicap. That's okay, but in the rest of the area, they don't want anybody to park right in that area. I've been guilty of that myself, so. And we're trying to get a little bit better understanding of who's parking where and that type of thing too, so we bounce that out, you know. Number two, I had a call from Florida. Don Dorner told me to tell everybody hello. Everybody's doing fine there. Had a call from Sandy O'Connor. She's moving from Northern California to Southern California for a month or so. We're going to try to come here later on if she can. So I'm trying to just give everybody, these are calls that came up, and of course, there may be a few other calls too, but these are ones that asked to tell everybody hello. Trying to see where everybody's at. Who might be new. What I'm going to talk about is the creation. I wanted to try to keep everybody in mind, young, new, and old, as it goes, to follow along to understand how the creation was shown to Moses, and how Dr. Kenyon is endeavoring to try to get the creation in the movies. He moved to California from Ohio to do that, and when he got to California, they told him they needed a scenario, they needed some writing to go by to make a movie. So he asked us to come there to help him do that. And the textbook was the outcome for that endeavor. Now, the religious leaders, many books have been written. Many of them do not convey or really explain the details of the creation. They have a lot of questions they bring up or they raise because they don't understand Moses' writings. So I'm going to try to attempt to take my time to do this, and hopefully everybody be able to follow along. I had that chapter read because it shows how Yahweh is, how David was praising Yahweh for everything that he has done. The creation of the heavens and earth and how he cares for everybody. And that's something we should be able to appreciate. And you also see, that's the thing he's requiring of all men and angels to give glory unto his son. And so that's the thrust of the gospel is to give that praise to him. So with that in mind as a statement, we'll try to go ahead and get into this subject matter. When people read the Bible, they just start with Genesis and start reading and have no idea about the author of Genesis or when he got the information and that type of thing. And as I tried to point out Sunday was that when you have the first man created was Adam, and you can go back and you was able to talk to him, he could not tell you anything about what happened the day before he was created. So he would, in other words, he would not be able to explain to you that. So from that time down, nobody knew how the creation came into existence. So the book of Genesis is a pullout of the book of Exodus. When I say a pullout is that you should read the Exodus first to find out about the author and find out where he was at when he saw the vision. That's what I mean by that. And I'm going to try to explain that to you as well. So this is what we're trying to convey to you, this vision that was shown to Moses, and he wrote that in Genesis now. So we're going to try to go back and bring up the situation so everybody be on the same page, because we do talk about it from time to time and want everybody to understand how it was delivered to mankind. When you go back and you take Moses, when they come about the land of Egypt through the valley of waters of the Red Sea and into the wilderness, Yahweh then had Israel to assemble at the base of Mount Sinai when Yahweh spoke to them and gave them the Ten Commandments and also the judgments of Israel, which is 603 judgments and statutes. So that was given to them here in the wilderness as they came about the land of Egypt. And after that was done, then Yahweh called Moses up into the mountain to receive the tables of stone, or the law that he had spoken to them, to teach his people, to teach the children of Israel his law. So that's where he got it. Now, can we go, I'm going to start here in Exodus, his second trip into the mount. Now you have after Yahweh had spoken the law to them, Moses wrote that law down and read it to the people. Then Yahweh called him up in the mountain to receive tables of stone, which he had written, to give to Moses, to teach the people. So if you go read the book of Exodus, 24th chapter, we're going to try to work with that and see if we can make some sense of what's happening here. Read the first 3 verses, and then we'll go down to the 9th and 10th and move on.
Exodus 24:1.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto Moses, Come up unto Yahweh, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel,
The 70 elders of Israel, okay, read.
and worship ye afar off.
And you worship ye afar off. In other words, they were not to come up at the top of the mountain, but to worship afar off. Read.
And Moses alone shall come near Yahweh, but they shall not come nigh,
But they shall not come nigh.
neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh has said will we do.
Now that means that they're agreeing to the commandments that he's spoken to them. Then he goes on, and I'm going to have it go down to the 9th verse, but he goes on to tell them the judgment. That's what he got later on that same day that he spoke the law to Israel. And they agreed to it. So that means there was a binding agreement between Israel and Yahweh to keep the law that Yahweh had given to them. The covenant, right. So now, that first 3 verses where Yahweh gives the commandment for Moses to come up into the mountain, or permission to come up into the mountain. And he brought Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, the 70 elders. Okay? Now in the 9th verse is where they execute or they're carrying that out. It's about 7 days later that this is being carried out. Okay? Okay, now you read that now.
Exodus 24, 9 and 10. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel. And they saw the Elohim of Israel.
And they saw the Elohim of Israel.
And there was under his feet.
Now that means now you get ready to describe what they saw. They said they saw the Elohim of Israel. King James Version said they saw God. See? So I'm trying to make sure that now they're going to describe what they saw. So this is something that's not imagination they had. This is something they actually saw in a vision. Okay, read.
And there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven and its clearness.
Right.
And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw Elohim and did eat and drink.
Now they're up in the mountain. Yahweh told them to come up there. He didn't tell them to pack up a lunch. He didn't have them to bring anything with him. So he just told them to come up in the mountain, and this is what they saw. Okay. Now continue reading.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount, and be there.
And be there.
And I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments which I have written.
So now he's going up there. Now you know he's being requested to come up the mountain to receive the tables of stone. Okay. Now at this point, Moses doesn't know anything about the creation.
Right.
He's the writer of Genesis, but he doesn't know anything about the creation at this point.
Oh, yeah.
See? He's going up there with the anticipation of Yahweh giving him tables of stone to teach his people.
Right.
Okay? So, now, read on.
That thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of Elohim.
Now, we got a problem here.
Yep.
Based on what you read in the first 2 verses, where Yahweh told Moses to come up alone and by himself. Now you're reading about Moses and his minister coming up into the mountain, which would then, when you read that, you would say, he's disobedient. He's doing something wrong. But what you find out, he was the one that invited him up. That's what he really got in short.
Yeah, sure.
So Joshua was back here with Moses. And he's the one inviting him up. He's the one taking him up in the top of the mountain. Okay. So he goes up in the top of the mountain. And as one of the lectures Dr. Kinder gave about, he says, Joshua beat him in the top of the mountain. Because he was the one that was going to illustrate the show. He was going to be the director of what he was going to see up there in the mountain. So Moses goes up in the mountain. And Yahweh causes him to be stitched in darkness, because he's not going to, he doesn't comprehend what's going to happen or nothing. You don't know what's going on. And in that state, a condition, he heard Elohim say, now, when I say that, when I say he heard Elohim, I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. He heard him say, let there be light. See? Okay, now, so you read the 13th verse?
Mm-hmm.
Start in the 14th verse.
Go ahead and read the 14th, read that. I won't change it out, we'll take it out of context.
Okay. And he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went...
Hold on, right there. Now, what I'm trying to get at is that he's then charging the 70 elders and Aaron and the body for them to tarry there while they go to the top of the mountain. And when they come back down, they're supposed to be able to pick them up and go back down into the camp. That was what was going on. They're supposed to tarry there. See? Then it says Moses, now I'm reading the 16th verse now. So you read, the 15th verse, I think, 15, right?
And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount.
So now Moses is up in the cloud now. Cloud covered the mount. Now for everybody, the young ones in the student body, the cloud that we're talking about the cloud that they followed coming by the land of Egypt. It's going to settle on top of this mountain here. And he's going up inside the cloud. So by him being inside the cloud, they're not able to see him when he's in the cloud. But he's in the cloud when Yahweh is communicating with him within the cloud. Okay, read.
And the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days,
Now it says, this is the glory of Yahweh. And it said he covered, and the glory of Yahweh,
Abode upon top of Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days,
read on.
And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud.
So now we have, this, I'm trying to show what we have. What we have happening now is this. He goes on to explain to the 7th day. He doesn't tell you what took place the 6th day. Now, that colon mark is supposed to be in grammar, supposed to be a point to explain what came before the colon mark. We see it's missing right. They don't explain the 6 days. So what's happening? Moses lift what should go there and put it in the beginning of Genesis. So that's why we talk about the Exodus was before the Genesis. See, this was an exit out of here before Moses saw the creation of the Genesis of the creation. So Moses up here in the top of the mountain, and this is where he's going to begin to see the creation. So now I'm going to have that read, that 16th verse read again. We'll stop at the colon, and then we want to have Genesis 1:1 read, and we'll be able to go on to talk about this days that they're talking about. Okay.
16th verse. And the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days,
Now we're going to find out what did he see during 6 days. Now, as I said to those that were not here Sunday, the creation did not take place, or was not created in 6 days. So we say, well, I'm reading here in the book, it says 1 day, the next 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th. Or I read it talks about 6 days. Now you're saying no, it didn't, and you got a book where Moses wrote about that Yahweh created heaven and earth in 6 days. I'm saying no, that's not true.
Right.
What we have to understand is Moses saw in a rerun of Yahweh slowing it down for him to see what took place over a period of 6 days. So that's what I'm trying to say. So what we're saying is that Moses, when he wrote, see, up in, let's say this too. While he's up here in the mount, having a vision, he's not taking notes. He's not writing down what he's seeing and all this. He's not doing that. He does it after he comes down out of the mount. Are you with me on that? So I'm saying is that this book we're talking about, we're reading out of the book of Exodus, when you come about the land of Egypt, we read about that. We're talking about the events that are taking place in the book of Exodus. We're trying to convey to your mind what step by step took place with the creation. So now we're saying now, Moses now, he's up in the top of the mountain, and Yahweh is got his attention. And now what you read now in Genesis is what he saw in the vision that he had on top of Mount Sinai. Now you read Genesis, you'll find nothing about this cloud being there.
Right.
You find nothing about Moses being there. So that's why we tried to show you that the understanding of the book, or the understanding of the creation is a mystery to people, because they don't know how it was delivered, how it was given to mankind. See? When Yahweh himself created it, see, he just willed it in. Said, let it be, and it was. See, we're going to read that in a few minutes. We just can verify that. But I'm just trying to get you to see that for Moses' benefit, it was slowed down over a period of 6 days. Okay? Now we go back, we read in Genesis. Now we're going to read what should be right after the quota mark. That's what we're going to read now in Genesis. And we're going to show what Moses is experiencing up here in the mountain. Now by him being in the cloud, he has no idea what the cloud's doing. He don't know whether the cloud's a cloud, whether it's a pillar of fire. He don't know nothing about that. He's concentrating on the vision that he's having in the mountain. See? But now some way, Yahweh has to communicate with him about day and night.
True, right.
So now let's read Genesis now. We're back in Genesis now.
The first book of Moses, called Genesis, chapter 1, first verse. In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and earth.
Now it says, Elohim created the heavens and earth.
In the beginning.
In the beginning of Moses' vision.
Right. Beginning of time,
Let me say this too, so everybody be clear on this as well. Yahweh, the Father, when he takes on shape and form as Yahweh Elohim, that's the sonship of this. And that, Yahweh Elohim, that's the word, or that's Elohim.
Beginning of Yahweh's creation.
And this was the beginning of Yahweh's creation. After he takes on this shape and form, then everything he says goes about to bring forth is coming from him. So that means Yahweh Elohim, that is the creation of Yahweh. But now when we talk about the creation, now the creation is coming in by Yahweh Elohim, or the Word. Okay? So now when we read, now Moses and Elohim, in the beginning of his vision, Yahweh said, let there be light. But go ahead and read now.
In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void,
The earth was without form and void.
and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
So now he's comprehending the earth being inundated. See, it's covered with water. And he can't say that if the earth was completely covered with water, he couldn't say the earth was even there. So he couldn't write about it until after he seen it come out. Y'all follow what I mean? But he's writing to showing that the earth was in the water, in his vision. See? And darkness covered the face of the deep. Okay? Read.
And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And
Now, let me bring up something else here before we get started, because I'm trying to make you be aware of all that's taking place. What we read about here in Genesis is not the total beginning of Elohim's creation. Before he creates the physical earth, he created the angelic creation. That's the first creation, illustrated on this chart as the angelic creation. This is the first age dealing with creation. The angelic creation then it goes into the physical creation. But the angelic creation was first. And it had to run its course before he does the physical creation. What I mean by that, you had in the angelic realm, in your scripture lesson that was read, I believe it was fourth verse, Psalms 104 and 4.
This is Psalms 104 and 4. Who maketh the winds his messengers, and his ministers a flaming fire.
You said in the King James Version, angel spirits.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh.
I guess the King James Version is different. Okay, it is, okay. The King James Version is saying that this is a little bit different, okay. What I'm trying to get, and he made his angels ministering spirits. And I think he goes on to say that he made them to glorify Yahweh. Or,
Yeah. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flame of fire.
right.
Who laid the foundation of the earth, that it should not be removed forever.
It should not be removed forever. Okay. Now, we'll bring up so many little things that could come up with. We'll try to come to them later on. So now what we're saying to you now is, first he creates the angelic creation. They run through their course. And when I say they run through their course, is you have, at a certain point, you have a war between good angels and bad angels. Let's say it that way. The bad angels were cast out of heaven. This is Revelation, the 12th chapter. And they were cast down into outer darkness. Now I'm saying that so you show that when Moses is seeing the physical creation, he's talking about the darkness in the beginning of his vision. And that was the darkness that the angels were cast into. Okay. Now Moses had experience with Pharaoh down here as a type of Satan being cast out when he was cast into the Red Sea as a type. Now, and this came up, we had this, we went into this on Wednesday night, and people had some trouble understanding how could this be a figure or type of Pharaoh being cast out of, Satan being cast out of heaven. Well, what you have to do is just take this here migration. This is a coming out of the land of Egypt. Take that and swing it around here, and you got a coming forth, an exit coming out of Yahweh.
Right.
So you're the same thing. So if you see Satan had to be cast out of here, then you had to see there had to be a demonstration of that being done here. You had to see a lamb being slain here, because you had to see Yahweh Elohim is the lamb of Yahweh slain from the foundation of the world. So those things have come up.
Exodus.
We use those type of things to convey to you these great mysteries that you have in your Bible. See? Now, Confirms, right. Okay, now. So whenever the angelic creation, they've been cast out of heaven, they're in the darkness. Now here's Moses now, back into Genesis now, and read what happens there now. Read.
Genesis 1 and 3. And Elohim said, Let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
Now think about that. He said the evening and the morning was the first day. Now we're in the evening now. Going around to the morning. But it's night to us. But he's calling it the first day. Okay? So now what we got, I'm going to try to illustrate. I'm trying to give you, I've been thinking about how to illustrate this, and I got some other ideas, but I'm gonna try to do it this way, and hopefully everybody can follow. Now, let me say this, this might help some people somewhere too. If you have pure spirit and noted by this cloud, now that's the light. You already read about it in the 104th division, 104th division of Psalm. He's light. Now, when he takes on, this here takes on a shape and form. See? Now, this light's going to go. Now, Yahweh Elohim is going to become a prism.
A what?
A prism.
Prison.
Because we're going to have the light have to go through the prism. And when you have white light go through a pretty prism, you give off 7 colors. So you have 7 days coming forth from him. So I'm trying to use that as another way of showing you that this creation is going to take place now. So from that, he's beginning now. Now let me ask you, okay, how am I going to do this now? Let me just take this off here. That's a cloud. A representation of a cloud. Everything is taking place within the cloud. This is also eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh Elohim, the Word, abides in eternity. Now, at this time, we have no time.
No sun.
Now, you and me, we relate to a day between a rising and setting of the sun, day and night, and from sunset back to sunrise, being a day. See? But see, right now, we don't have a sun and a moon even created yet. So you don't have a day to talk about creating the creation in yet.
That's true.
See? Are y'all with me with that? I'm trying to fight with words to try to make everybody understand. If anybody don't understand, have me explain it, go over it again, I don't mind doing it. 'Cause I'm trying to get this so everybody be on the same page and understanding what we're talking about. Because this is a mystery that the religious leaders of the day don't understand this today. See? We've been truly blessed, folks.
That's right.
See? To get this insight
Right.
whereby we can understand this. Now, with Moses, he's having a vision. Okay. This here's Yahweh Elohim transforms into a tabernacle. So he can see that. Then this means that this is a definition of this, or this is an expression of Yahweh Elohim. So that means that he's transforming into the tabernacle, which we find is a tabernacle pattern. So Moses now is going to be able to see Yahweh create this creation. Now what we have, we just read in Genesis that the evening around to the morning was the first day. First day. This is, but to us, this is night. You follow me? What I'm showing you is that from 3 o'clock in the evening, around to 9 o'clock in the morning, he was seeing Yahweh create dividing light from darkness. First day. In the tabernacle, there's things in the tabernacle that Yahweh is using to show him what time it is. Because he's in the cloud. See? People here down in the bottom of the foot of the mountain. See? So what I'm trying to convey to you now is that all this is taking place in the realm of eternity, but what we're reading about is this here time when Moses is seeing the creation come in. See, between the evening and the morning is the first day. Dividing light from darkness. See? Now, during the daytime, he's seeing this lampstand being lit, and the lampstand will be lit in the evening, 3 o'clock, burns around to 9 o'clock in the morning where somebody comes in and snuff it out. That would end the evening and the morning in the tabernacle.
When he snuffed it out.
When he snuffed it out, that would be the morning. So now what happened is Moses during this time of the day, because this is only 18 hours, so we got 6 hours to go yet, he's seeing, Yahweh's instructing about how this tabernacle is going to be put together.
Mhm.
See? So when you go and look in the 25th chapter of Exodus, you will find it talks about a Ark of the Covenant, table of shewbread, and a lampstand. These are the vessels inside the tabernacle. The Ark of the Covenant, the table of shewbread, and the lampstand. All three have a principle of light represented, manifested with them. Light and darkness. So when this is lit at 3 o'clock in the evening, that means it's going around to 9 o'clock. We're going to start, it's 3 o'clock in the evening going around to 9 o'clock in the morning when it comes in and they snuff the lampstand out and prepare for the next evening. That's the operation here in the holy place of the tabernacle. So that's the first day. Now, the Ark of the Covenant, when the high priest on the Day of Atonement, he goes in there and he throws blood to the mercy seat, and after the last throwing the blood to the mercy seat, the Shekinah flashes, which abolishes darkness. The table of shewbread, that was a table where they kept the bread for the high priest to eat of daily. So that means that was substance for them that gives them substance or life. And then, of course, your lampstand will take care of itself when it's lit or when it's not lit. So 3 things are being shown to him on that day, or during that 9 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that same day, that 24-hour period of time. But then now Israel, they're at the foot of the mountain. They don't see what Moses is seeing. Remember, Yahweh said, Moses, you come up here alone and by yourself. See, I know Joshua went up there with him, but I'm trying to say he was the one who told him to come up here alone and by himself. Okay? Yes?
You brought up Israel being at the foot of the mountain when all this is going on.
Yeah.
But they're able to know themselves as far as time goes, how long Moses is up there.
Yeah.
Because of that, but
They're looking at the cloud.
right.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the outside looking at the cloud. To them, when they come up out of the land of Egypt, give me Exodus 13, 22,
21,
13, 21, and 14,
24.
24.
Nehemiah 9 and 12.
Exodus 13 and 22?
21.
21.
21, excuse me. And Yahweh went before them by day.
Yahweh went before Israel as they come about the land of Egypt went before them by day
and a pillar of a cloud
in a pillar of a cloud. So during the daytime, they would fall on a cloud. Read.
to lead them the way,
Mm-hmm.
and by night in a pillar of fire
And by night, a pillar of fire
to give them light,
to give them light.
to go by day and night.
So that they're able to see by the cloud changing from a pillar of a cloud to a pillar of fire. We're going from daytime to nighttime.
Right.
That's Israel. Okay? They're following it. Now, that was in the 14th chapter we read from. That's 13. 13?
13.
13?
You on
Okay,
14 and
in
19?
the 14th chapter,
Mhm.
go up a little bit above that and find where there was darkness toward the Egyptians.
19.
19. 13, 19?
Is it 14? It should be in the 14. Is it
14, 19?
Is it 14? Or is it the 13? I didn't look it up, so I don't know.
19 and 20.
Mhm. Yeah, but start at 19.
Hmm?
Exodus
19 and 20.
14, 19,
Okay.
and
That's
20.
what I thought.
And the angel of Elohim which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them.
Does everybody understand what's happening now? It's saying that the children, as they come about the land of Egypt, they're following a cloud. Cloud by day, and pillar of fire by night. Now Yahweh had taken them up to the Red Sea, and they were camped there, and Pharaoh was pursuing after them. So now, by Pharaoh pursuing after them, Yahweh's going to put a buffer between the children of Israel and the Egyptians.
Protected.
Okay? So what's happened, the cloud that was leading them out of the land of Egypt, when Pharaoh came up, it went and moved them back between Israel and the Egyptians. Read on what you got there.
And it came to pass between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them,
It was darkness to the Egyptians. So you read.
but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night.
So they're divided between the Egyptians and the Israelites. See? So I'm trying to show how important that cloud is to them, because that's what they're using to know day and night as they travel. So they come up here, and they're at this point here. See? See how Yahweh, Dr. Kenny had it drawn on this chart here? You got a little ball here. Got light on one side and black on the other side. Showing the darkness was toward the Egyptians and the light was toward the Israelites. See? So he's showing that there was a difference in it. See? Yes?
So Dr. Kenny would use that also as confirmation of what you just read in Genesis 1:1, that he divided the light from the darkness.
You could use that, but he didn't. I don't remember using it.
Yeah,
So
it's in the textbook too.
it's fine. Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Because this is nothing but, like I said, from this here move up here, you gotta have the same thing portrayed. So I had no problem with that.
Phenomenal day.
See?
That was the Genesis, the Exodus.
See now, Israel, they were migrating up out of here. 3 days journey from Egypt to the Red Sea. See? And when Pharaoh had a change of heart to go and get Israel and bring them back into captivity, he's pursuing them to bring them back into the land of Egypt. See? And when he gets there, what happens is that cloud comes in. See, they don't, he can't see what's happening with Israel. Israel goes on and starts going through the Red Sea, because he's waiting for them to go through on dry land. They go through, and then when they see when that cloud lets them see what happened to Israel, they pursue after them. And when they get in the Red Sea, after the Israelites had gone to the other side, Yahweh then closed the Red Sea upon them. See? Showing that they were being cast in to the sea. And it's the Red Sea. See? So now I'm saying that so you can see what transpired. Now, so I'm trying to show this same cloud is what's on top of Mount Sinai now. And this is what Israel was able to look at the cloud and see when it turns dark But when it turns to a pillar of fire, he knows it's night. When it turns to a day, a cloud, he knows it's daytime. See? So you had this, with Moses, he's not able to see, he's only seeing the creation being created. Then he sees the tabernacle. Creation, tabernacle. Creation, tabernacle. That's where he's seeing it.
Fred, did you say there was three things that they were looking at?
Right.
That's what I was going to ask you. So it's the creation and the tabernacle, but didn't you say earlier that he's looking at three different things here?
3 vessels in 25th chapter.
We're talking about the things he saw in the tabernacle.
Okay. Oh.
The three vessels that manifest light.
Oh, okay.
That's what the three things I'm talking about. He saw.
Yeah,
Remember,
I missed that.
He
though.
saw this Ark of the Covenant, the table of shewbread, and the lampstand.
And those
That's in the 25th chapter of Exodus.
And those are all representing light?
Yeah.
You said?
That's what I just got through saying.
Okay.
So the fresh and the second eye on the Day of Atonement, that represents light, demolishing the darkness here with the high priest.
Right.
When the high priest eating the table of shewbread, that was light unto them, or life, or death if they don't do it. And then you got the lampstand, which is light, which lit gives light, and which lit not lit, the light of the day coming in. Yes.
I got a question. How is it that we know that he was shown the tabernacle pattern at the start of the creation if he doesn't even mention the tabernacle until the 25th chapter of Exodus? So you're saying that when he takes shape and form as Elohim, and then he transfigures into the tabernacle, but it doesn't, I don't read that anywhere within what we're talking about.
Okay, he doesn't find where it's recorded. See, where it's actually saying the Elohim changed into the tabernacle.
Right.
It's not going to tell you that. But how are we going to find? But you still got to have proof for it.
Right.
See. So now what's happening is now Yahweh. See. He's showing Moses this in a vision here. Well, then he later on he comes down here and has John be on the Isle of Patmos here. And John's going to have to confirm that because he got to see the same thing. He's going to confirm what Moses will. He's got to see the same thing. So what does Moses see? What does John see first off? Revelation 1:10.
Revelations 1 and 10.
Revelation 1:10. I was in the spirit on the Sabbath day.
I was in the spirit on the Sabbath day.
And heard behind.
Hold it. See? He's coming in on the same day that Moses was in.
Eternal.
I say, if he's in eternity, he appears, then he's got to see the same thing in the realm of eternity. So the same day, wait a minute, I should go on further. After Moses see the 7-day account of the creation, he rested on the 7th day. Hadn't done anything since. Everything's been going according to his purpose. See? So it means that he's in his rest. So when John comes on the scene, he's got to be in the Sabbath day. That's the only place he could be is in the Sabbath day. See? So he's copying the Sabbath day. Okay, now what does he see in this vision he has?
And heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet.
Oh boy, something. Moses
You got to show it.
saw Elohim walking away from him, going away from him. He saw Elohim walk away from him.
In Exodus.
And now John, here he is in the end. Now remember, this is the beginning, this is the end in type for now. See? He's looking toward onto the end. But he heard a voice behind him because you got to go back and confirm what Moses said. So when he turns around, he's going to see whatever Moses saw, he got to see it. Okay? Now go ahead and read.
I was on Revelations 1:10. I was in the spirit on the Sabbath day.
I was in the spirit on the Sabbath day.
And heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet, saying, I am the Alpha and Omega,
I am the Alpha and the Omega.
the first and the last.
I'm the first and I'm the last. And remember, he was the first of Yahweh's creation. He's going to be the last of Yahweh's creation. Read.
what thou seest,
What thou seest.
write it in a book,
You write it in a book, John. Read.
and send it to the 7 churches.
No, you got to send it to Rome and get it
Imprimatur. Authorized.
Get it authorized.
Right? No.
See? No, he says send it to the 7 assemblies in Asia.
Yeah. You don't need
See?
no editing.
Read.
Which are in Asia,
Mhm.
unto Ephesians.
Mhm.
Ephesians.
Now you give the names of them. Okay. Going down to the what's it?
12th verse.
12th verse.
And I turned to see the voice
Now,
that spoke
John,
with
he's
me.
turned to see the voice of him that spoke to him.
And being turned,
Being turned,
I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
I saw 7 golden candlesticks. See?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I tell you something else. Good question, and good question.
That was a good question.
Now here's John. See? Now I got him in the holy place because that's where we're supposed to stand at. See? Now I got him really over the altar of sacrifice.
Incense.
Altar of incense, right? Altar of incense. See? Somebody say, well, why you say that for? Revelation 6:9. I'm trying, you want to know? I'm trying to explain. You're trying to understand Revelation. Trying to understand. You got to understand Genesis to understand Revelation. See? So now I'm trying to confirm his question about what Moses saw first.
Mm-hmm.
What John saw first in his vision. See? Where did John first see him?
First seeing what? The Messiah? Right.
I've got all the questions coming up in now.
What did he?
Huh?
John the Baptist or John who?
John the Revelator, John Mark.
You got a lot of things there. Well, I'm trying to get your mind to think about, see, folks. See? John was here
Well, when he first saw him in the vision,
when he saw him in the vision back
okay,
then.
Mount Transfiguration.
So now he's down here, he's over here now.
They talk about tabernacles there too.
See?
Mm.
We might have tied the whole thing together so everybody see the whole thing. Tie the whole thing together. See,
It's wonderful.
people come down here skeptical, and they should be because there's so much junk out here in the world. I can see them being skeptical.
Right.
See? But what the founder came to us was he brought proof of what he's saying.
That's right.
Say, yeah, I talked with Yahweh. I saw him, I talked with him.
Mhm.
I seen angels, I talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
See? Now he's able to come back and report to us what he saw. And he's doing it by the book.
Right.
And having that power, having that understanding, he's able to impart to us these deep mysteries we're not able to understand or see. See? So what I'm trying to show you, this is what he showed us.
Mm-hmm.
Look, folks, when I came to this school, I wanted to read a couple verses, or a couple chapters in the Bible. And I only did that because I was in Sunday school. I heard verses quoted many times, but I still didn't understand. I couldn't even tell you where scripture was, where it says Joshua wept. See, the King James would be Jesus wept. See, I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you when John baptized him either. I just didn't know anything about the Bible. Yeah, I had gone to classes a couple of times, but I was, when I was a teenager, one of the priests challenged me about what I was saying, why I said what I said. See? Yeah. When I joined the church. It was an Episcopal church. See? And it was requirement number 1 was to be baptized. See? Well, when my dad and mom brought me to the school, my dad told me he's not to join the church. They said, that's no problem, go ahead, that's no problem. So from kindergarten to the 8th grade, every day class, every day we went to school, we went to church. So I got a good dose of what was taught in church. See? But I couldn't join the church. Well, I've been coming to class, I come to class from time to time with my dad, and when Dr. King comes to the house and that type of thing. And I heard him talk about Joshua. We're completing Joshua's side. I mean, I didn't know where it's at in the Bible. I couldn't tell nobody where it's at or nothing. But now the preacher asked me, how come I hadn't joined the church? I said, you required to be baptized. I said, I accept Joshua baptized. When Joshua was baptized, I was baptized. That's all I could tell the man. And he thought that was a profound statement. See? So he had nothing else to ask me about it then, because I said, I believe that when I stepped Joshua aside, everything he did it for me. So I had to do anything else. See? And one of the other ladies there was there they took care of the center that we had there, because we had almost everybody had left. And she liked what she heard. A couple weeks after that, she died. So I didn't get to talk to her anymore. But the point I'm trying to get at, the point is that he brought to us such a profound teaching that causes us to evaluate and to weigh things, understand what's being written in the Bible.
Right.
We're not down here trying to fool anybody. You got a Bible, go and read for yourself. Write the scriptures down, read for yourself. You got a question, come down and ask about them. I tell you up front, I don't know all the answers either. But all I can, all the questions you ask me, I'll try to get you a good answer to them. Would I say something wrong there?
No.
So now, I'm saying that this is what this man taught us. See, he's showing how that Yahweh showed Moses how the creation came in, and it's got to be verified. I just say it that way. It's got to be verified. See. So what he does, he has John. He told John before he died. He told John. See. When Peter asked him what's going to happen to John, he says, "What is that to you?" See. Terry.
What did he carry to
He told him Terry. He's going to Terry. I forget how it's worded now, but in the 21st chapter or 22nd chapter of John. So now what I'm saying is his life was preserved to be on the Isle of Patmos.
Right.
He was the last of the disciples. He was the youngest of the disciples. So he was the last one. See? Died somewhere about 105, 106, somewhere around that time. A.D. He was on the Isle of Patmos in A.D. 96. See? Yes?
Were you going to get Matthew 17 to 10?
Yeah, I'm going to get, he brought it up. I got to bring it up so everybody see what's going on here. See? Because what I'm trying to wrestle with, you see the whole story. What Moses was seeing and how he saw it. See, because you're not going to go down in the library unless you have one of our textbooks. Have a textbook in the library, you're not going to find it.
Right.
See? And a lot of libraries won't let us put it in the library. It's in some libraries in different states. It is in some libraries. But now what we're trying to get across to you now is this. See? Here's John. Peter, James, and John, they were caught up in the mountain back here. See? Now this was done because of this back here. See? So this is going to have to confirm this here. If we're talking about Moses having a vision, he's seeing the tabernacle in this vision that he's having. See, now down here we got to come down to the same thing. Matthew 17. Read it from the top so everybody can be on the same page.
Matthew 17:1.
Mm-hmm.
And after 6 days, Joshua.
After 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
See? I'm saying when Yahweh told Moses, you bring Aaron, Nadab, and Abiram, and 70 others up in the mountain, after 6 days they went up in the mountain.
Right.
So it got to be done the same way.
Exactly.
See? Read.
And after 6 days, Joshua taketh Peter, James, and John,
Mhm.
his brother.
He takes Peter, James, and John, his brothers. James and John, they're brothers.
Mhm.
See? Back here, you go back here, you got Aaron, he's the elder, or the father. Nadab and Abihu, they're brothers.
Right. Peter's.
So we got, I'm talking about, it's tight, folks.
Mhm.
See? Read on.
And bringeth them up into a high mountain.
Bring them up into a high mountain. Now, they were up in the mountain.
Right.
Read. Read on.
And was transfigured before them.
Now, this is something you don't have back in Genesis.
Right.
But if it happened down here, it had to happen back there.
Exodus.
See? Because he's fulfilling. See? So this Joshua goes up in the mountain, a meat man.
Mm-hmm.
But when he gets up in the mountain, he changed, he transformed into in a visionary form or in a corporeal form in the mountain.
Angelic form.
See? He did the same thing back here. Because that's how Moses is seeing him in the vision back here.
Elohim.
But now we're trying to confirm this with this now. Okay, continue reading there.
And was transfigured before them.
Mhm.
And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light.
You ever see a man shine that way?
No.
Shine.
See? I know he used to kid black folks and he called them black folks, he used to call them shine. Long time ago.
Black man.
Yeah, real dark man, because you call him shine. See, that's a slang back in the 30s and 40s, back in the 20s, back there. See? It was a good long time in. So what we're saying to you is that he changed to where he looked like the sun. Okay, read.
Third verse.
Mhm.
And behold, there appeared unto them
Now there appeared unto them.
Moses and Elijah
Wait a minute.
talking with them.
How did Moses get there?
Mhm.
How did John get there? See?
Verse
See, now John the Baptist, he was the one that baptized the Messiah.
pointed him out.
He was the one that pointed him out as the Lamb of Yahweh to take away the sins of the world.
Elijah.
Now Moses, he was one leading the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt and then through the wilderness. When they got near the river Jordan, Yahweh took him, or he died.
Mount Ebal.
And he didn't go across the river Jordan. But now they go here, now we're across the river Jordan. They're in Jerusalem when he's having this here vision here, when they're having this vision here. So here's John, James, and Peter here. They're seeing this here Yahweh transform, and they're seeing Moses and John the Baptist.
Oh, Elijah.
See? Now Moses, he's there because he was the first to see him
Right.
in this vision back here. I shouldn't say he was the first to see him. That's not right.
First to write about.
He's the first to write about him under the law. That's what I should say.
Right.
The law had been given, so he's writing about it, and that's under the law. John is the last to see him under the law as a prophet. So you got two prophets. Now that's why they're appearing here. They're putting here to vindicate him being Yahweh Elohim. See? That's fine what they talk about. Read on.
Fourth verse.
Mhm.
Then Peter said unto Joshua,
Peter said unto Joshua,
Sire,
Sire,
is it good for us to be here?
mm-hmm.
If thou
That means
wilt.
that they're hearing something being said up here.
Mhm.
They're hearing something being said up here. Read.
If thou wilt,
If thou will.
let us make here 3 tabernacles.
Why are you talking about tabernacle? Because this is in confirmation of that back there.
What was spoke about back
This is all
there?
tabernacle. Read on.
If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles,
Mhm.
one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
While he yet
he's
spake,
blowing. He's just trying to be important, trying to be somebody. Yeah, we one for each one of them, you know. See, he not knowing, not understand what's going on. He don't know. Read on.
while he yet spake,
Well, he yet spake.
behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them.
A cloud. You got a cloud back here, so there had to be a cloud down here. See, read.
And behold, a voice out of the cloud.
Now you heard a voice out of the cloud.
Mhm.
Then we have Yahweh speaking down here, a voice out of the cloud. You was hearing that. Read.
Which said, This is my beloved Son,
This is my beloved Son,
in whom I am well pleased.
in whom I am well pleased.
Hear ye him.
Hear ye him. See, that was what was said. See. So now they come from, they saw a cloud, they saw a tabernacle. Now this same John, his life was preserved to be on the Isle of Patmos, to confirm what Moses wrote. See? And I'm saying Moses saw this here transform into a tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
See? Revelation, see, 1 and 12, read. Moses being
And I
turned.
turned to see the voice that spake with me.
Now he heard a voice behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And
So he's
being,
turned to see the voice that spake with him.
and being turned,
Being turned.
I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
Now, if you follow, we'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. If you have a pattern, you got something to go by. See? I didn't have you read Revelation 6:9, did I?
I have it. Revelation 6 and 9.
Uh-huh.
And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh.
Now I'm saying John, see, in spirit, he's over this altar. He's standing over the altar. He wanted the spirits crying on how long it's going to be for this thing to be over with. Same thing we're saying today. See?
Yeah.
Okay, here he's up here. Okay, he's saying that. See? So I'm saying now. He's saying I say I'm showing it. That's where he's at. See? And he heard a voice behind him, and then he's got to turn to see who's talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying if he's facing this way, facing toward the Ark of the Covenant, then he's got to turn.
Or the
He's going to
altar.
see the lampstand.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
The
going to
altar.
turn to his left to see him. See, read.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
one like unto the Son of Man,
one like unto the Son of Man.
clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So now he's seeing him now. See? But now it's the picture over here on this side now because that's where John is seeing. Seeing him as a son. Read what it says about him now.
And in the midst of the 7 golden
In the midst
candlesticks,
of the 7 golden candlesticks,
one like unto the Son of Man,
one like unto the Son of Man, same one, Son of Man back here, same one here. Read.
clothed with a garment down to the foot,
Clothed with a garment down to the foot. Read.
and girded about with the paps with a golden girdle.
See, his paps. Now look at in the sanctuary. The vessels in the most holy place, the holy place, they were out of gold.
Made it go.
Made of gold. See, they were made of gold. Okay, so his paps and his
Garments, yeah.
Garments were.
Yeah.
Well, it says pap
Paps and
Yeah.
with a golden girdle.
with a golden girdle. Okay, that's what he had around his waist. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool,
Now he's talking about his hairs, and his hair was white.
as white as snow,
Uh huh.
and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
The eyes is a flame of fire. See the second eye? Like second eye is going to be a flame of fire. Read.
And his feet like unto fine
His feet was like
brass,
unto fine brass, as they burned in the furnace.
as they burned in the furnace, right?
See, so it'd be like his feet down here in the court around.
And
the
his
time.
voice as a sound of many
And his
waters.
voice is the sound of many waters. See, you see,
Right, the labor.
See,
So he's describing him as the tabernacle.
he's describing it as the tabernacle. So this is confirming that what he saw back here was the same way. See. Did John talk about the creation?
Well, he said it already written.
Yeah, it was already written.
You
Don't
go
write
there to
it.
10th chapter. You go there to 10th chapter of Revelation.
Then don't write it.
You got to confirm it. See? So we're trying to show you that this Bible was put together in a way. So I have heard a minister yet say anything like this.
Imagine.
I haven't even sure anything put like this. See? Because when you look at it, you're seeing that you were able to put this stuff together. See? You see how the thing had to go. See? So here's John and Isle of Patmos in the 10th chapter of Revelations.
10:3,
See?
4.
And here's on the Isle of Patmos. He had another vision you read.
Revelations 10 and 4.
Mhm.
And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices,
Now he says 7 thunders. Back here you have Moses saying, he said, let there be light, and there was light. It's a thunder. Second day, let there be waters above, waters below be divided from waters above.
he spoke and there was a thunder.
See, third day, let the waters roll face up the dry land appear on the third day. Those are thunders. And he's hearing, John is hearing those thunders. See? Remember, he was told to write what he saw, what he heard. See? Read.
And when the seven thunders had uttered their
When they
voices,
had uttered their voices,
I was about to write,
pick up his pen, he getting ready to write now. He said, I'm getting ready to write.
and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal up those things which the seven thunders uttereth,
Seal the
and,
things which the seven thunders uttered.
and write them not.
Don't write them. Why?
They already.
Already
They're
wrote.
already written. Moses already wrote about it. We don't need to write them anymore. They've been written. So he's confirming that, see? Okay.
Mhm.
You had a question?
Well, the Apostle Paul, he says that, he confirms what Moses also says, and he says that the tabernacle showed to be in the mount. I mean, Yahweh Elohim has to transform into the tabernacle or become a tabernacle in order for Moses to see it. He's the Ea Asher, I will be what I will to be. He willed to be the whole creation, and he showed him the creation, and that was a vision. So he just transformed into the whole entire creation. So he had to transform into that tabernacle, transform into everything in order for Moses to see it and write about it. So that's confirmation in itself.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I had that same question when I first came to class, and then I said, well, how else could it be, Because,
Well, when you understand,
but it was confirmed like you just said.
when you understand who this is,
Right.
see, understand the power he possesses. That's why I had that Psalms read, 104th division Psalm, because it gives glory to him, because he controls everything. Cause the water to rain down, cause the streams to come down, feed the birds, the beasts of the field. Does all that. See? The man guy, they got to run around and chase after the animals, find out what they're doing, try to figure out what's going on. See? He's already got it under control many years before he come on, try to snoop around, try to find out why the beasts run every year, going 200 or 300 miles to go get some water. See? Why the salmon goes upstream to lay their eggs and spawn. See? But they're running around trying to do that when y'all already got it. He said a cycle. Just repeat over and over again. See? So we have Yahweh now. We have John confirming what Moses wrote there.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we at? We still back. I'm going back to Genesis, yes.
Yeah, we're
They had some other things out.
no, do we?
First
You didn't
thing.
want,
Sorry, that question took a while to answer.
No, that was
Well,
good.
no, that's fine. That's good, because we want everybody to be abreast of what's going on here. Yeah, we want everybody to be abreast of what's going on.
Apologize.
'Cause it's a good question, and I don't see nothing wrong with it.
based upon what Charles just said, why don't you have it read, Psalms 33, 6 to 9?
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. So it's time to bring in,
Actually, I had that.
we have,
earlier.
well, in the 104th division of Psalms, it said there that he commanded the water to come, because the water come down and come to its place.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. He says there, I think around 10, 11, around that, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 9.
Okay, I missed it.
104 and 9.
Okay.
Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over.
That's in a bound that thou might not pass over. In other words, he said, water come this far, no further.
Mm-hmm.
See, establish it.
Mm-hmm.
See, did you finish?
That they turn not again to cover the earth.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to confirm that he. Now we're going to confirm now what took place in reality, right? Reality now. Psalms 33 and 6. And then read the 9th verse.
Psalms 33 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
By the word of Yahweh were the heavens made,
This is the word of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Were the heavens made? Read.
and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth.
By the breath of his mouth. Read.
He gathered the waters of the sea together
Mhm.
as an heap.
There's a heap, right? Read.
He layeth up
We
the
did
deep.
there. We did there. When he did here at the Red Sea, when he did up there, cause the waters come together, separate as a heap. Read.
He layeth up the deep
Mm-hmm.
in the
In the
storehouses.
storehouses, read.
Let all the earth fear Yahweh.
Let all the earth fear Yahweh.
Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him.
Mm-hmm.
For he spake,
For he spake,
and it was done.
the sign followed. He commanded, and the sign followed. He said, let there be light. There
And
was
there
light.
was light. Yeah.
See, commanded. Thunder, let there be light. Boom, there was light.
No one day.
See, now Moses is up here in the mountain. He's here, and they don't hear a thing about what's going on. They don't know what's going on up there. Have no idea what's going on up there. They down at the foot of the mountain, waiting for them to come back down. They're waiting for them to come back down. They up there. See? And they didn't come back. Moses didn't come back down soon enough for them. They took off and went back down to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
See? We were supposed to stay there until they come back down.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Terry.
See? Can you fit 73 people up there sitting around, moving around? What's happened to this man? What happened to this man? What's going on with this man? See? So this guy, they left, went on back down the mountain. See, now, one reason why they left was they probably got hungry. But see, Moses up here, he's being fed.
Yeah.
In the spirit, he's in the spirit being fed. Spirit, see. So he's okay. But them down there, they weren't. See, so they left and came right down in the camp. They got in trouble, but we ain't gonna worry about that right now. So now we're going there now. Read on
You finish up.
Huh?
She needs to
No, read
finish.
the ninth verse. Read the ninth verse. Yeah.
9th verse again. For he spake.
Oh, that was the ninth verse?
Mhm.
What was the sixth verse?
You
But-
didn't let her read all of it.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
You didn't let her read it all.
Oh, the sixth verse?
The ninth.
9th verse.
I thought I said 2 times in the same way he spoke and he commanded and he stood fast.
By the word of Yahweh, or by his mouth.
Yeah, okay, go ahead and read again.
For he
9.
For he spake,
For he spake,
and it was done.
and it was done.
He commanded,
He commanded,
and it stood
and
fast.
he stood fast.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
He commanded and stood fast.
Right.
See, that's why I said, he said the water come before. See, Pacific Ocean, you stop there in California. See,
Yeah.
or Oregon and Washington. You stop and go any further. See, now you get all riled up, and I want to send them plagues in there, cause the water come and destroy some houses.
Keep
See, but that's him though. Okay, now I'm trying to show you he's the one causing that. He commanded this to fast. So now you see now Moses is up here in the mountain. He's seeing the day and night being portrayed to him by the priest function in the tabernacle. See, when you see the lamp still lit, you know it's turning dark. And then you're going to hear Yahweh say, let their waters be the water from the waters above and the waters beneath. That's what he's seeing. See? Now, it said there that Moses, we got to the top of it, creation by the pattern. See? That's been on the chart ever since I've seen it, been on the chart. See? And so he's trying to convey to mankind that Moses saw the creation come in by that pattern. See? And that's what I'm trying to convey to you. That's what he's doing. He's seeing it come in by the pattern. First they divide light from darkness. Because the twilight divides us in the evening going into the morning. I mean, from the day going into the evening, and from the night going into the daytime, you got a twilight between the two. See? So you have that being displayed on that first day. See? Yahweh tells Moses in that 25th chapter to put the tables of the covenant in the Ark of the Covenant. Be a law there to govern Israel.
Put the tables of stone in the ark.
Tablestone in the Ark of the Covenant. Any questions? Oh, the hands go up.
Lord.
All right. Okay, good.
They've been
good,
waiting
good.
for it.
Okay, I saw that from first and go this one, go right there. Okay, great.
It's in the last subject.
It's what?
In the last subject we're talking about now. There was a question that was brought to me about Matthew, 4th chapter.
Matthew, the 4th chapter?
Yes, 3rd and 4th verse. I wanted you to shed some light on wilderness. I've heard you go over this before about where the tempter made mention of the stone, command that these stones be made bread.
Mm-hmm.
But then Yahshua's answer.
Mention I live by bread alone, but by the word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh.
Yeah.
Is it Deuteronomy
8:3.
8:3? Deuteronomy 8:3, okay. Okay, he's asked a question about after John baptized the Messiah left or departed from John and went into the wilderness. And he's out there in the wilderness, he was being tested or tempted. Yeah, a picture on the plate back there just depicts the event back on the 40-foot chart. So he's being tested out here in the wilderness. Go a verse above that, please. Read the 3rd verse.
Matthew 4:3.
Read it first. If you got to read it first, read it first. I'm
Yeah,
trying
go
to
up there.
let you see what's happening, what's causing Satan to say this to him.
Matthew 4:1. Then was Joshua led of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tested of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread. And he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Elohim.
Okay, now, been in the wilderness for 40 days, and the tempter comes to him and says, command these stones to be made bread.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what stones is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
See? When the children of Israel came about the land of Egypt,
Yep.
they went through the divided waters of the river Jordan. They came up, Yahweh instructed them, one man from each tribe to pick up a stone out of the bottom of the river Jordan and put it on the other side. And they put these here stones on the other side as a marker or indicator as when they came through the divided waters of the river Jordan. So he's saying these were the stones that were there. Now when they did go through there, what happened?
The manner ceased.
The manna ceased.
The manna ceased. The manna didn't come down no more for them.
That's right.
So the manna ceased.
No more bread.
See? Now,
That's why the devil's there.
Satan always a little bit behind, a little bit ahead of time. He's always one or the other. Now, when the children, they were fed manna for 40 years, they get to the river Jordan and go over to Canaan. Now the land's going to flow with milk and honey. They're going to have all anything they want up there because it was plentiful. So the manna ceased. Why? Because now the manna is, they've gone back in the most holy place where it came from. That's a type of heaven, so they're in heaven now. They don't need it anymore. See? But now Satan is testing him about turning these stones into bread. See? But he said, now man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh. That's why we spend time going into the word of Yahweh, the words of Yahweh, to understand what he's saying to us. See? So what I'm saying is that he's now seeing, or Satan is testing him, see, out in the wilderness here. Well, why is that so? Because when the children of Israel went through the Red Sea, they were tested here in the wilderness. So you see them being tested. See? So you have to see the same thing had to be done with the Messiah.
They're the son of
See? Same thing had to happen.
Yep.
And that's also should be a reason why he's going to be tested. That's why I'm saying everything don't go as easy as you think it should.
Easy street.
See, because you begin to learn something about the truth, and Satan was try to say, no, that ain't right. Just don't believe them folks down there.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna try to get he's gonna try to get you to doubt. See?
Yep.
That's why. Do you understand that? Okay. Okay, Ramona.
Fred, I was having a conversation with somebody and we were talking about at the universal revelation that we're not gonna, know, know somebody, according to the way I understand it. And then they said, well, what about, like when, Yahshua at the Mount of Transfiguration resurrected Moses and John the Baptist, there was recognition there, and that Dr. Kinley looked at the graves and he was able to say that that was Job walking in and Adam. So why is that? We're not gonna, there's some recognition there, obviously, and at the universal revelation, there's not. But there's a reason, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a reason, yeah. To verify a resurrection, you gotta see something. To verify a resurrection, you gotta see something. So what Yahweh did, he verified, well, he prophesied for it first. Then it has to be fulfilled. Okay. Ezekiel 37. This is when you find that Ezekiel was having a vision, and he's talking about he's seeing dry bones in the valley. Then he's talking about Yahweh. Yahweh comes to him and asks, can these bones live? He said, thou knowest. And he told him to prophesy to him, and he's going to sinews and flesh is going to come upon him. Then he told him to prophesy to the wind, and the wind come and animate them so that they might live. So now that was a prophecy that was shown to Ezekiel in a vision. So down here, when it comes down to this time when the Messiah raised from the dead, this is going to be a vision to them down here. They're going to see them, those graves open and people seeing apparitions of those that have died. See? So it says, many of the sons that stepped in and heard of, they rose after the Messiah's resurrection. That's Matthew 27:52. See? So they're seeing that to verify a resurrection. Okay? Now, when you take off the flesh off of man, you got a skeleton left. You got a skeleton left, which is the inner man, in tight. Okay? If my bones are left around here and you saw my bones, you wouldn't recognize them. You're not going to recognize anybody after when the flesh is taken off. See? I remember very vividly. I went there, Payson, Ohio. They had a monument. They went down and they had rows and rows and rows of skeletons. Rows of them. You know they heads from somebody, but you don't know who they were, nothing about them. See?
What race and all
See, you can't tell what pigment skin they had on, nothing. See? You just don't know that. See, now Yahweh the only thing I can relate to when that change takes place, the unrighteous, they're going to see what they missed. Because they're going to see righteous being glorified. Good word, good word, glorified. And after that, they're in the lake of fire. And the rest are there in glorification. That's just real briefly, that's what happened just between the two of them. They're in glorification. So you see that the flesh is gone. See? And you go through that veil in the tabernacle. See? You look at the angels on the veil then. So you're looking at spirits, you're not looking at the flesh anymore. Because the bones, that won't be there either. You'll be dealing with apparitions then, spirit beings. So that's all they're going to see is a spirit being.
And it really wouldn't be heaven if you're thinking about like your loved ones that are not
Sure,
there.
sure.
If you're gonna remember.
That's
the
correct,
past.
that's correct.
That's how I remember.
That's a good way, that's the best way to say it, because your loved ones, you'll be looking for them. Now see, the Baptist, man, he up here revving around. You're going to see your loved ones. You're going to see mom and dad. And you get to revving all up, talking about all what you're going to see when you go when you die and go to heaven. They say go to heaven. See, they ain't going to see nothing like that. See, because if you did see
You didn't
a
see
loved
it.
one that didn't make it, you'd be upset for eternity. You're not supposed to be upset in heaven. You're supposed to be rejoicing in heaven. See, be happy in heaven. See?
But Ken said if you were to remember the past, like this earth and all this stuff,
Mhm.
he said you would be just as miserable there
True,
as
true,
you are
true.
down here on earth.
Yeah.
Just as miserable.
See? If you look at pain, see? And it can be a nuisance. Pain can be a nuisance. See? But think about it, you won't have that. It's kind of hard to believe, but it sounds good. See, I'm up here with a lot of pain right now, but I understand. But, you know, the point I'm just trying to make, you can see the contrast of being without pain and being with pain. See? Yes, you had some.
So then it just be to show us, they recognized Yasha because if he came back as somebody unrecognizable.
Right.
It just wouldn't make sense.
That's right, that's
Or
right.
Moses, you wouldn't have a witness.
Right, right.
To.
To verify,
that
to
vision.
confirm that, right.
Right, and John the Baptist. So
Right.
There's identity there for.
It's the identity for the
our
purpose,
understanding
for the
now.
purpose, for them to understand things, right, right.
It's a good answer there.
See? Because if you look at, when, he appeared back here, see? We didn't read down further in that 17th chapter. You didn't read down further than you would find it. They said, they looked up and didn't see no man. That means Moses, John, and Joshua are all gone. See? Now he's back in the flesh now. He's back with them now, so they walked on back down out of the mountain. But see, when they saw that in vision, they weren't able to. They saw the figures of Moses and John. See, but then when the Messiah came down from the mountain, and they said, the priest told us that Elijah must first come. Yeah, indeed, he must first come. Because they didn't recognize who John the Baptist was until Messiah said he indeed did come. See? And they did with him whatever they were. Said, now it's going to happen to me, the same thing happened to him. See? So I'm just saying that it was done for them to be able to recognize. John 21, one where Thomas was not in the upper room, and Joshua appeared to him.
Was it 14th chapter?
No, it's in the 19th. It's either the 20th or 21st chapter. I think it's in the 21st chapter. I think I'm not sure. I try to remember. I don't remember everything.
Like 20 and 21 were after
Huh?
8 days his disciple and Thomas came.
Yeah, Thomas was there. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I'm going right there. Now, what I'm trying to get, see, you read about these things happening in your Bible, but you're always causing things to happen so that things in the scripture be fulfilled. You understand what I mean by that? He's causing things to happen. Now, when he appeared to his disciples after he raised from the dead, Thomas was not there in the upper room. See? But he appeared to the 10 of them there, they saw him. So when they saw Thomas, and Thomas said to Thomas, we saw the Messiah, he's raised from the dead. I ain't gonna believe that till I see him for myself, put my hands in his nail prints and put my hand in his side. I won't believe it till I see that. See? It said after 7 days he appeared, and Thomas was there. The Messiah turned to Thomas and says, Thomas, see? feel and see, look and see, put your hand, you tell him to look at it, see his hand, nail prints. See, now people read that, they think he rose from a dead physical body.
Mhm.
See, but that's a spirit or apparition. They're seeing a vision. They're seeing an angel-like embodiment. See, and now when Thomas saw him, he had to go run put his finger in his hand or in his side, and he recognized who it was. Said, "My Yahweh," Isaiah 9:6. That's the scripture being fulfilled. He's calling him to say that so that to fulfill the scriptures. So it's got to be. So I'm trying to say all those things had to happen for so that the scriptures might be fulfilled.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. Does that help you out there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Juan.
I want to back up to this question, and you use that example of Israel's question. You use the example of he's like a prism, Yahweh Elohim, and a prism's threefold. And the 7 days of creation comes out of it like the 7 colors of the light, the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but yet he's creating by the tabernacle, which is threefold, the 7 days of creation.
Mm-hmm.
That about right?
Mm-hmm. If you follow what I said, when I say he's the prism, see, light going through it, and then unfold 7 days, or 7 days are coming forth from it. Then showing the 7 prismatic colors of light being transmitted.
But yet he's creating everything threefold.
Oh yeah.
Because that's why I was saying, that's how we see that the tabernacle was there, like this question. He's creating by it.
Well, we haven't gone on but the first day to see it. To see that everything he saw was by the creation. See, by the creation was by the pattern, right? I'm serious. Any other questions? Lucy?
Yeah, you made the statement about the prison being threefold. Could you explain that?
I can't relate to that right now myself. It's given the prison being threefold. Except a prison has 3 sides to it when you use it that way. You know, when we talk about a prison,
Because I think of a prison as having 4 sides. Sometimes usually has the bottom.
well, sometimes, I mean, in the science class I had, they had a prism, had a block of clear
Mhm.
plastic, and this showed we have 4 sides. We have 4 sides to it. But 1, 2, 3. You have this side here and the side on the other side. Be 5 sides to it. If you want to take all the pieces of it. But when you run light through, you only run it through one side of it. It comes out and breaks out in the other colors when you come through that
Right.
to the prism.
But my question was, how is it threefold?
I can't answer that one. I don't have that. I don't know when this Ron has something he's looking at.
Three-sided.
Well, you look at 1, 2, 3 this way, but see, they got sides on both sides that we're going to look at it first.
I'm looking down on it, and like you're saying, the prism is hitting the prism like that, and the light's coming out this way.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Well, you're saying, but looking down here, you got 1. Well, you won't be able to see the bottom. You can see 1, 2. Yeah, I'm not able to figure that out right now. I see the prism being. I see it this here being threefold, 3 sides this way. And light's going through, and only going through one way. You're gonna have that. As soon as you go through this prism, it breaks out into the 7 prismatic colors. The same thing we see a rainbow. See, it's light going through water crystals. But as it hits the light, hits the water crystals, they project the colors of the rainbow. See, so, and that's what you have pictured right there. See, and like when you do that, when you've got a sprinkler system on and it gets sunlight, you can still see a rainbow in the water because the crystals depict that, reflect the light. Okay, Charles.
Early in your lecture, we read somewhere, I was trying to find it now, but I forget where it was at, that it talks about the the creation endureth forever.
It's in Psalm 104.
I was trying to find it in 104.
I think it's
I said
down-
the glory of Yahweh shall endure forever, but I couldn't find where it said that the earth. But we read it somewhere.
Yeah.
And for example,
It's mentioned
Jehovah
several
Witnesses.
times.
What's that?
It's mentioned several times.
Yeah. Jehovah Witnesses will get those kind of scriptures to try and show that the earth is not going to be dissolved. The creation is going to go on forever. And
Oh, yeah.
but when we read those things in the Bible, knowing that in relationship to time, as long as time goes on, then that's forever.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we say many things. I'll never forget this,
Mhm.
or I'll go. We make statements.
We make a lot of
similar to that.
expressions like that.
Yeah, but when we die, we forget because we're asleep. We're gone.
You don't have to go that far either.
Yeah, not, especially in these days. Yeah, you get old. Yeah. You don't even know what you go in the room for. Yeah,
With
but
wine, somebody, you know.
but yeah, I just wanted.
Where's your glasses? I'm looking for glasses. I remember I was my wife and I was out visiting my mother in California. And she said she lost her teeth. Lost her teeth. We went around trying. She said she didn't know where she put them at. So. Well, you found them in the refrigerator? They were in the refrigerator. She put them in a glass, put them inside the refrigerator. She didn't remember where she put them at, so I mean, you know.
Preserve it. She's preserving that smile.
So, I mean, you know, so I would normally put this where I would remember where I put it at, but you can forget where you put it at. You know, that's how we are. See? Yes, Joe.
And there's two scriptures, in one in Ecclesiastes and one in Job, that talks about when a man dies, you know, he forgets. He goes to sleep, and when he rises, it's not until he's not going to know anything until the end, till the resurrection, basically, you know. So it talks about the man knows that he's going to die, but the dead know nothing.
They know nothing, right?
Right, and so, you know, we're not going to remember a lot of things.
That's why it's so important to come to class, because you got to know the truth before you die. You can't wait till you die and then say, I'm going to find out what's on the other side. It'd be too late. See? It's very important to find out and know before the revelation of the Messiah.
Good question.
Yes, well,
And Fred, I just wanted to bring up there in Luke and 20 and 34, where it talks about that this woman that was married to 7 brothers, or whose wife is she going to be?
right.
And the Yahshua answers, the children of this
Well, where you
world.
reading that so everybody knows
This is
where it's
Luke 20 and 34.
at? Luke 20, 34?
And Yahshua answering said unto them, 34, the children of this world marry and are given into marriage. But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage, neither can they die any more, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of Elohim, being the children of the resurrection. And so if we read what the angels are going to be doing, they're just going to be worthy. They're going to be praising Yahweh Elohim
Right.
day and night.
Right.
And so if we're going to be as those angels,
Correct, that's right. And now,
Glory,
if you're not going to be given in marriage,
well, yeah,
then that means you're not going to be able to identify male or female.
Your wife.
You're not going to be able to look for spouse and that type of thing. See? So you only pass through you're just passing through this earth plane for a short period of time. You already provided this creation for you to have offspring, have children, and for you to give glory to Yahweh. That's the whole thing, is giving glory to Yahweh. Finding and knowing Him and give glory to Him. this way you have comfort and salvation through knowing the Messiah. Yes.
If we go through the history books, will we be able to find what Pharaoh was alive while the plagues happened?
Well, Ramesses
The second?
the second, I believe it was, but
18th dynasty.
the 18th, they call it the 18th dynasty. Now, I tell you right now, you got some problems you're gonna find. when you do
Few
that.
commentators, yeah.
Because you're gonna find that your chronology is all messed up. Chronology is all messed up. Who was it, tell me? Reason I can talk about the chronology. Was it you, Dr. Shea? Talking about the chronology you had in the book you had or something?
Oh, no, I don't have one.
Well, I mean, you had you're talking about a book that, who's talking about a book they
Hear
had?
you.
They had a book they had, that chronology that,
You mean
that
that
you,
big book that holds out?
I don't know, you said you had a book, you said you talked about a book that had chronology and it had different dates in it. Different,
I have one, Fred,
okay.
chronology.
Well, if you can't bring it with you sometime, I look at it.
For somebody around.
I want to look at it with me. I had a Bible, I think it's still in my garage someplace, I gotta go find it. It had chronology about 3 different chronologies.
Mm.
And they got little different dates for different things, events that happen, that type of thing. And it's really hard to try to pinpoint or designate certain things because different chronologies have different time frames.
Right.
It makes it hard to try to find things, and especially when you've been telling me, I just got a good book, my sister sent me a book on chronology of history of the Bible. And I can't get nowhere, they talk about Solomon's Temple being done being dedicated in 1000 BC. They got it about 50, 60 years later, or 50, 60 years earlier, so I mean, you just have a hard time. Now, Dr. Kennedy, I mean, Yahweh through him was a great mathematician. I'd say it that way.
He talked about the leading chronologists in his day, Asher, Hastings, and Aquinas.
Right,
And he said they did the best they could, but they were even on.
right.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you have a hard time. That's why I don't even worry about time. So, well, we got started.
The second day.
If you want, we'll continue some more of that, just so everybody get an understanding of what took place, what happened. We'll try to go a little bit further with it. Hope and trust you got something more to say. Thank you.
Leave it on?
Oh,
Leave it on?
Charles, we have to take a, so let's.
Yeah, everybody is asked to take 2 2-liter containers of soda. If you're bringing stuff that is very important to eat, for example, utensils and plates and stuff like that, try to be there like by 12, let's say, because it's gonna take us for a while to cook and all that, but we need to have utensils,
Is that what time can the service start? About 12?
well, probably between 12 and 1 or something, you know, but, you know, we'll get there at 11, but we're not gonna start eating right away. But, you know, if you have something that's very, very vital, please try to be there on time. I remember one time we had to pick it up in the mountains, and we were waiting for someone to bring the plates and the utensils, so we waited and waited. Finally, they came, and then we finally got to eat. But it's gonna be really, really good, so you guys try and make it. You don't have to be there on time, come whenever you can, and so,
Everybody have any small tables, because I don't know how many tables.
yeah, take some small tables or what have you. There's maps up here. Dr. Schaff made some maps. He's always working. Let's all stand and be dismissed. But doxology, hope and trust, and know that you enjoyed tonight's class. Doxology is taken from the last 2 verses of the book of Jude. Now to him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless in the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise Elohim, our Savior, through Yahshua the Messiah, our Sovereign, belong glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both before all time, now and ever. Let us all say.
Hallelujah.
Let's work the second day here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.